So I often get asked, Tom, how do I not become a client? So I thought it might be useful to create a video talking about my top 3 client mistakes. Mistake number 3, lack of training. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that somebody went to clean a firearm and thinking it was unloaded, they negligently discharged it. Yeah, that's very real and more common than people think, although still very, very rare in the scheme of things. But if you make that mistake due to lack of training, you may be a client down the road. So there's this and there's many other issues where training can really kind of take a seat as far as particularly negligent discharges, not choosing the proper holster, not choosing the proper belt. So you get into issues, and I realize this is gonna be a little awkward to talk about, but to throw it out there, if you're concealed carrying and if you go to the bathroom or something like that, where do you put your firearm? If you don't have the proper training, you may not know the answer to that question, then you leave the firearm behind. Again, that's how you become a criminal defense client. There's a whole wide range of issues as far as where training translates to actual criminal law, even though you never actually intentionally pulled the trigger trying to defend yourself. Training is definitely a big issue that I see create clients. Number 2, education, or I should say a lack thereof. What am I talking about? Specifically in education is to the laws. People just don't know the laws. They think they know the laws because they took a couple-hour concealed carry course or their Uncle Jerry talked to them once and said, here's what you got to know. Not good enough. You need to make sure that the quality of instruction that you're getting is absolutely top-notch from somebody who really knows their stuff. Oftentimes, this may be a great curriculum through a group like the United States Concealed Carry Association, but always be sure to check your local listings. In other words, check your local laws to see exactly how this applies in my state or where I am going or traveling to. Because use of force laws, your duty to retreat, where you have castle doctrine or don't, where you have stand your ground or don't. What weapons are going to be lawful? What magazine capacity or types of bullets are going to be lawful? These are all very easy things to screw up or to think about or just to not prioritize as you're going about your day, as you're going about your life. Being educated about what side of town is the right side of town to go to at what times of day. I oftentimes see smart people make kind of stupid decisions because, you know what, they get talked into going to dinner on the wrong side of town at night, or they're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but it was foreseeable that they were running a risk of being at the wrong place at the wrong time. And to be clear, I'm not for one instant excusing an attacker from attacking someone. I'm just saying that when you go out at night or something like that, you're taking calculated risks. And in hindsight, I've never had a client say, yeah, you know what, that steak dinner on the wrong side of the road tracks, that was totally worth it. I would go back and do it again. No one does that. Until you understand how rough the ride can be in the criminal justice system, it's difficult to understand what transaction cost, in essence, you might be paying to go out and do whatever it is you were thinking about doing. And again, none of that means that's fair to you, but that is the world that we live in. So again, lots of education issues, lack of knowledge of the law, lack of knowledge of your surroundings, being vigilant, what pre-threat assessors look like as far as this person or these people may be attacking me. How do I keep a low profile? How do I blend in? How do I not look like a good mark to a bad guy? Those are all fantastic areas in the realm of education to not become a client. Number 1, and by far the biggest one, talking to the police. It's almost a joke at my law firm. So a little bit about me. We're the largest criminal defense firm in our state here in Wisconsin. A number of our attorneys, including myself, are former state prosecutors. All that is a long way of saying we see a lot of cases, including a lot of self-defense cases. But there's always a bit of a running joke sometimes as far as, well, you know, one of the ways you can kind of tell if we're dealing with a good client or a bad client at times is, here's the bad client. We'll start there. Bad client is the person where they're coming in, it's a prospective client. In other words, they haven't hired us yet. Maybe their kid's been arrested for whatever it is. And the mom or the dad or the significant other or whatever it is arguing with us about the fact of, hey, the detective said we should really come in, make a statement. They just want to clean this whole thing up. You know, they're on our side, right? They just said they want us to explain things and, you know, things will go great for us with the prosecutor. No, all right? Don't believe that, because we also represent at any point in time usually a number of police officers or their family members on any range of issues. And those conversations look very differently. Whereas that first group, we might be battling with them saying, look, 9 times out of 10, this is a really, really, really bad decision. That second group, here's how the conversation looks. Hey, officer, so you said that the detective wanted you to come in and make a statement, or wanted your son to come in and make a statement. Yeah. And did you go ahead and do that? That's where they laugh, we laugh, and everybody moves on, because we know that that's just not what you're supposed to do. There's a former Supreme Court justice from the United States who once said something to the effect of, any lawyer, no matter how green or new, should be able to tell their client one piece of advice: never talk to the police. And that doesn't mean that you're trying to lie or to mislead them or anything of the sort. You could be a perfectly good person who, you know what, did everything right according to your education and according to your training. But oftentimes police will obviously turn up the screws. They'll be asking you any number of questions, any number of different ways, and it may trip you up. You may make slight mistakes. I've seen clients in self-defense scenarios where they've gotten the wrong street name, or they gave the wrong time, not because they did something wrong or were being malicious, but because they were stressed out in the post-shoot anxiety and all the adrenaline that's pumping. And that can create major then trust issues when it comes to, all right, this particular issue wasn't caught on tape, or this particular issue cannot be verified by an independent third source. How can we trust him here if we knew he was lying about this over there? So at the end of the day, and this is really the subject of another video of how do you handle the police after an incident takes place, but these are the reasons why you really want to be very low resolution and granular with your details. You do not want to go into the nitpicky of, this is exactly what happened here, 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 here. There may be a time to do that well after the shoot has happened, but if you're in that particular moment, whatever the case may be, whether it's a self-defense case or any other case, the best piece of advice myself or anyone else can give you is just don't talk to the police. So guys, those are just some of my 3 biggest issues in the self-defense cases of what I see for people to become clients. What do you think out there? Let me know in the comment section, and let me know if you've got any other thoughts on other videos you'd like to see. Rest assured, there's a lot more I could be talking about, but I don't know what you guys want to hear. So post it up in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and, of course, to like, share around the channel, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.